Hey guys, so the last few years I have really gotten more into ouds and have slowly been working up my collection, and I thought, why not do a video with some oud fragrances for people who are new to ouds? So I'm gonna go over some that one are easier to find, and also I think like very in user friendliness, for a lack of a better word, because I know oud can be a lot, and so I just wanted to show a couple that I've added to my collection that I really enjoy for different reasons. That may be something that someone who is newer to oud may want to try. Also, these fragrances, the price ranges vary like greatly. So I also wanted to pick things that were from lower end to a little bit more expensive. So if you would like to kind of go down this oud journey with me, just keep on watching. Okay, so the first oud I'm going to talk about is by Diane Castel, and it's called Tentation Oud. I actually found this at a Perfume Mania. So I went in and um, they had like a couple of fragrances on the counter where if you spend a certain amount of money, you could get those fragrances like discounted. And this was one of them. And when I smelled it, I knew immediately that I wanted it. Um, and the top notes are saffron, fir balsam. The heart notes are jasmine, oud wood, and leather. The base notes are caramel, moss, and amber. And to me, this is just a really nice, well done oud. I feel like it's a nice, more entry level oud. It's one that people who are trying to get into oud would really like, I think. Um, but I'm also a person that tends to like unisex fragrances. So, you have to take that with that knowledge as well. But really enjoy this. Very nice scent. And like I said, I got this at a Perfume Mania, but I actually recently saw it on Fragrance Net. So, I'm seeing it more. When I first got it and I was trying to like find places um, to see if I could find it other than Perfume Mania, I didn't see it. But then now I've just recently seen it on a Fragrance Net. So, um, if you're looking for something that, in my opinion, is not a super heavy oud, but you still feel like it's an oud and you get that oud vibe, this would be a good one to try. And again, that is Diane Castel's Tentation Oud. Okay, next there's Frank Oliver Oud Vanille. And according to Fragrantica, the main accords are woody, warm, spicy, vanilla, amber, rose, balsamic, sweet, smoky, caramel, powdery. And for the notes, the top notes are caramel, raspberry, and orange. The middle notes are incense, rose, patchouli, jasmine, and violet. And the base notes are vanilla, woody notes, spices, and musk. Now, to me, this is a very sweet, woody scent. Um, it doesn't have a strong oud smell to me. And so I also think this would be a good kind of working your way into the oud rabbit hole. I actually think this is probably easier on the nose than Temptation Oud, in the sense of it. You don't smell the oud as much. You really smell like a sweet woody note, and you wouldn't necessarily, in my opinion, say, "Yeah, that's an oud." Because oud does have a very specific type of smell, and to me, this smells like a nice woody fragrance as opposed to an oud fragrance. Still love it. Glad I have it. Would definitely repurchase, when I run out. It'll probably be a while because, I have a larger collection, but I enjoy it. And I do think this is, again, a safer entry oud for people who um, either are new to oud or aren't quite sure that they're ready to go like that hardcore, heavy, oudy scent. And so this one is easier to find than the first one I talked about. I see this on Amazon. I've seen it on um, pretty much all of the, discount sites. I've actually also seen it in TJ Maxx, not that long ago, not that far before Christmas. I obviously didn't need it because my bottle is new, but um, this was as of right now, it's easy to find this, and it's relatively inexpensive. So you're not going to pay more than 35, $40 for this, but it's a really good quality fragrance. So again, that is Franck Oliver Oud Vanille. Okay, so next is Another Oud by Juliette Has a Gun. And so I actually bought this travel size on Fragrance Net because I wanted to check it out and see how I would like it before I actually committed to a larger size. Um, and the main accords for this are oud, musky, fruity, amber, sweet, fresh, spicy, and citrus. And the top notes are raspberry bergamot. The middle note is oud. The base notes are ambroxan, which every Juliette Has a Gun perfume has ambroxan in it, and then musk. So for me, we're still in the. I feel like this is safe for people that don't like ouds. Um, it's not super heavy, in my opinion. That raspberry really stands out, and although it's a top note, you can still that raspberry lingers throughout the scent. As the fragrance dries down, and upon the dry down, you still smell that raspberry. And so the oud in here, you definitely smell it. Like you know that there's an oud in there, but it's not heavy. It's not one of those where people are like, you know, I don't feel like I could wear this. This definitely, to me, is absolutely year round. All of the ones I've shown so far, I think, the all year round, easy to kind of handle. And honestly, to this point, probably day and night appropriate, easy to do because they're not like like a heavier oud. Um, and I also like the fact that if you go to like Fragrance Net, you can get a travel size and see if you like it. Now, for me, have decided that at some point I am going to get a full size of this fragrance. I like it that much. Um, but it's also one of those like I'm not in a rush to get a full size, but I do like it. I enjoy it. I think it's a really nice, again, easier oud um, than some of the other ones I'll talk about, and a nice one to start with if you're not a person who like is trying to get into ouds but not quite ready to do the whole full on thing. And so that is Juliette Has a Gun, Another Oud. Okay, the next one is also by Juliette Has a Gun, and it is Midnight Oud. So the main accords are rose, oud, warm, spicy, woody, sorry, fresh, spicy, patchouli, musky, floral, and powdery. And then for the notes, the top notes are Damascus rose, saffron, pyrus, bergamot. The middle notes are oud, Moroccan rose, castoreum, geranium. The base notes are patchouli, musk, amber, and sandalwood. Now, for me, we're getting into um, this might be one that people don't like, but it's still not, to me, a super heavy oud scent. I would still classify this as kind of like an easier entry point into ouds. Um, and I'm still actually kind of working my way into like finding really nice oud shade. I have like such a long list of oud fragrances that I want to add to my collection, and but to me this one is still like I think we've crossed over like yeah you probably will barely smell the oud. You definitely smell this oud, but then they've added in the patchouli and the sandalwood and that all just kind of brings this kind of longevity to the oud altogether. I do think this lasts longer than another oud, um, and to me it's well done, especially for it being from the house of Juliette Has a Gun. I think I like that house, I do, but in my opinion sometimes like a lot of their fragrances to me in my opinion smell very similar. And so when I saw Midnight Oud. I had already gotten another Oud, so I decided to get a travel spray because I was like, okay, is this just going to smell exactly like another Oud? And to me, to my nose, it doesn't. And I do think it has a stronger Oud quality, but it isn't, you know, a heavier Oud where it's going to be a little more polarizing. So, um, still in the safe-ish blind buy kind of zone. But I think, if you're new to Oud, all the ones I've shown so far, I feel like, you could get with and not necessarily hate them, but you may not necessarily love this one either. So that is um, Midnight Oud by Juliette Has. Okay, so now we are moving into the This Smells Like Oud. Um, and so the first one I'm going to talk about is Raghba by Lattafa. And so the main accords, sorry about my neighbor's dog. I don't know what he sees. The main accords are vanilla, sweet, oud, amber, powdery, balsamic, smoky, woody, warm, spicy, musky. And the notes: vanilla, sugar, agarwood or oud, incense, sandalwood, and musk. So to me, I think we're getting into the place of like people who, you know, they're pretty sure they like oud. They've tried the Tentation oud, the Another Oud, and they're like, okay, I like this. I'm really wanting to kind of move into something that actually, has that Middle Eastern vibe, and it definitely smells like an oud, but still not one where, some of those things that people who don't like oud say they don't like about it. Like it smells like dirt. It smells like the outside. It smells musty, not musky. Like all of those things, I still think you're not gonna get that here. Now I don't feel that way about oud. I haven't actually smelled an oud yet that I didn't like, but those are like when you get into people um who don't like ouds, like the heavier ouds, that's some of the things that or BO, like all of those kind of negative vibes that people have around oud in general. I think you don't have that here. I think this is a nice, strong oud, but not, you know, polarizing. Now, obviously, you take that with a grain of salt because there's going to be somebody that just completely hates this and thinks it's too much. And then there's going to be somebody who says, Adrian, I disagree with you. I think this is a entry level oud and it doesn't smell, very oudy at all. So, this again is my opinion, and also kind of me trying to help someone watching this to kind of navigate through kind of how I think through ouds. And so for me, I feel like, yeah, this is definitely not, I'm new to oud. I'm not really sure if I want to even go down that road, but it's not like the hardcore, like I want to, go to Dubai and go down and buy every oud that they have. Like, I think this is the person in the middle who's trying to decide like how far down the oud road they would like to go. And this also, you can find it pretty easily. Amazon has it for a really good price, usually. I've seen it on Fragrance Net. So very easy to find. To me, a very well balanced scent. It's not too heavy on the oud, and that vanilla and sugar that they have in there, I think just really makes it just a nice balanced oudy scent. Definitely oud. You definitely have that Middle Eastern vibe, but to me, is not one of those heavier kind of scents. So that is Raghba by Lattafa. Okay, so next we have Oud Wood by Tom Ford. This is the newest oud to my collection. Um, and I was actually surprised. I got a sample of this from Sephora. I had made a purchase, and in Sephora, when you order online, like you can pick samples, and they had this available, and then they had Angel Sarah by Killian. So I grabbed both of those because they were ones I wanted to smell. And I didn't really have high hopes for this, in all honesty, just because Tom Ford and I have been hit or miss, and more miss than hit. But I really enjoyed this, obviously, because I bought one. So the main accords are woody, oud, warm, spicy, aromatic, vanilla, balsamic, fresh, spicy, amber, powdery, sweet. And the notes are oud, Brazilian rosewood, cardamom, sandalwood, vanilla, Szechuan pepper, vetiver, tonka bean, and amber. Now, to me, if you are not a person that likes unisex scents, I don't think you'll like this because this is definitely a unisex scent. Um, I enjoy it. I think it's really nice. Again, it's newer to my collection, so I haven't gotten to play with it as much as I plan to. Definitely think the cooler weather is going to be a really good friend to this scent. Um, well balanced. When I have tested it on my skin, it's lasted, which is an issue that I've had with some Tom Ford fragrances in the past, that especially for the amount of money, they don't last. But, I haven't worn this enough to say, yeah, I'm going to get it. Now, every perfume that I've shown you so far, minus Another Oud, easy 6 hours. That Raghba, we're at 8 to 10 with no work. The Another Oud to me is about 5 or 6 on me. But, with the layering combinations and the things I do to make my fragrance last, I can easily make it last, that 8 hours. So I can't what I can tell you is when I sprayed it on myself from the sample, I still smelled it like 6 hours later. And that's just like I just kind of sprayed it on my wrist, went about my day because I was just trying to see if I liked it enough to buy it. And of course, obviously I did. So I definitely think this is one of those Tom Ford fragrances that will last on you because that was just like I wasn't even trying to see that. I just wanted to see how it smelled. But again, I don't think this is a safe blind buy. I really don't. One, Tom Ford is super expensive. And then two, I feel like this is definitely in that category of you probably need to smell this. So if you don't have a Sephora by you and you love Oud and you want to take the chance, Sephora does have a really great return policy. But if you can get to a counter where they have this and smell it, that would be my suggestion. So, but I really enjoy it. I'm sitting here at this point, even just now from just having, played around with the tester, this is one that I could see myself keeping in my collection. Will I get a bigger bottle? Who knows? Because Tom Ford again is super expensive. Now, the thing I also liked about this is a little goes a long way, which is true of all of these ouds. Again, minus Another Oud by Juliette Has a Gun. Everyone I've shown so far, you do not want to overspray. Juliette Has a Gun. I mean, Juliette Has a Gun, Another Oud. Sorry, you can spray heavier on that, in my opinion, and it's not going to be too much. But the rest that I've shown you so far, and the last three I'm going to talk about, do not overspray. You're asking for a headache, um, and that's irrespective of the time of year, in my opinion. Which is another thing I love about Oud. A little bit goes a long way with Oud, and to me, it just adds a robustness to fragrances. So definitely happy with this so far. And as I play around with it and get some different combinations, I'm sure that I'll do a layering video with this because to me, this is just really well done. And um, one of my, not one of, this is my favorite Tom Ford fragrance that of the what I have and what I've smelled to date. And so that is Tom Ford Oud Wood. Okay, so I think to me, Tom Ford was on the cusp of polarizing. I think these last three fragrances that I have are definitely polarizing. People either really, really like them or they're like, I don't understand how you like those. Um, so the first one is Kayali Invite Only Amber 23. Now the main accords are sweet, amber, warm, spicy, cinnamon, tobacco, cherry, woody, nutty, vanilla, and honey. And for the notes, so the top notes are tobacco leaf, sour cherry, honey, chocolate, and hazelnut. The middle notes are sea loin cinnamon, May rose, Damascus rose, citrus leaf, and the base notes are amber, agarwood, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood, cypro oil, patchouli, and musk. So this had to grow on me. I literally went to the Sephora, sprayed it on me. I was like, I don't know about this. Um, Sprayed it on paper. So I was like, okay, I don't know about this. So I left. Some time passed. Of course, it's me. Made my way back to Sephora, looking around at fragrances, and I'm just like, those notes. I feel like I should like that. Like I really feel like I should like that. So I sprayed it on me again and let it dry down completely. And I was like, okay, this is okay. I don't know. And so I'm like, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll get a travel size. I don't know. And then I intentionally, when the next time I was going to Sephora, I intentionally didn't put on anything, which is not like me. So I usually have on fragrance galore. So I was like, okay, I need to make a decision. I just was in one of those moods. Decide if you want this or not. And so because a sale was coming up and I was like, okay, if you're gonna get it, either take it off your list or go ahead and bite the bullet. Um, and so I went to there, had nothing on my skin, sprayed it on me, still was like, and ended up buying a different fragrance and left. So I get home and I'm like doing something and I wave the arm that I had sprayed it on next to me and I'm like, what is that? And then I remembered like, oh yeah, you have that invite only Amber 23. And I was like, this smells good. Um, so I like, okay. And at that point, it had been hours. So I'm like, okay, so this little spray that I just sprayed, on the inside of my arm, I still smell it. It smells really good. So, okay, you really have to let this dry down, like all the way down. And I feel like that's when you smell like everybody that loves this. To me, I didn't get it until I let this dry all the way down to my skin. And now I love it. Um, and when I finish up this bottle, I'm going to get a bigger one. Again, you do not need a lot of this, and this does last. Um, but the thing I like about Kayali is, and I think I like about Oud in general, is that it's a good medium for mixing fragrances. So, I've mixed this with other Kayali scents. I've mixed it with sweeter scents, like all kinds of things, and it just really is a nice kind of pairing. So I would say if you smelled this on paper or you smelled it really quickly and you were just kind of like, I don't hate it, but I don't see the hype, let it dry all the way down. And I mean all the way down. So this is one of those, like if you're going to wear it, spray it on yourself probably about 30 minutes before you leave so that it really can get into your skin, get into your clothes, and then that's when it's really going to shine. So that is Kayali Invite Only Amber 23. Okay, almost there. So the second to the last one is Oud Vanille by Mancera. The main accords are vanilla, oud, woody, warm spicy, fresh spicy, powdery, and balsamic. And for the notes, the top notes are agarwood or oud, saffron, black pepper, cardamom. The middle notes are floral notes, and the base note is Madagascar vanilla, guaiac wood, and sandalwood. This is a woody scent with a little bit of vanilla, which works for me. But if you buy this thinking, oh, I'm going to get a vanilla oud, that's not what this is. This is a woody scent with a little bit of vanilla. And you smell that vanilla on the dry down. And I think that's what keeps this in the unisex lane as opposed to a more masculine leaning because it is still unisex. I mean, I think that vanilla and whatever those little floral notes that are in there make it, is what keeps it in the unisex vibe. But people who I have, like when I've looked this fragrance up, it's been one of those, this is gross or I love this kind of thing. I obviously enjoy it. I actually bought this from Fragrance Net. And when I first bought, they have like a little tester. And I mean like the little one, not like the travel size. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. Um, it's just a really nice scent. And you smell the oud in this, which is why I got it. I wanted to smell the oud, and you do here. Um, I don't think this is as polarizing as the next one I'm going to talk about, but I definitely have seen people like on both ends and not too many people in the middle of really liking this scent. And like I said, this is not a blind buy safe fragrance in my opinion. But the good thing is on Fragrance Net, you actually can buy like the little sample vial for like $3 or $4, I think. And I think that's the safest way to get this. If you can't like find it where you can smell it, which I haven't seen this anywhere where you could smell it. But if if you come upon a place and you see this to smell it, I think that's the safest way to go. If not, then go to like Fragrance Net and get the little vial so then you can try it. But really enjoy it. Happy to have it in my collection. Would replace it when I ran out. But again, this is one of those, a very little bit goes a long way. I just finished the little sample that I had, and easy 8 hours with no work. Like so, um, and you people will smell you in all of the ways that you. I mean, it's just to me, it smells really good, and it mixes well with my body chemistry, and so absolutely happy that I have this, but definitely not a safe blind buy. And that is Mancera's Oud Vanille. So Vanilla Royale Sugar Patchouli 64 by Kayali. It's their Intense line. Just came out the end of last year. I bought this the day it came out. Um, I've heard people say this is like one of their top fragrances of last year, and then people say it smells like bug spray. Like that's the extremes of what I have heard as far as the reviews for this. I personally love it. I'm happy I have it. Mona said this is a limited edition, and so I'm really contemplating getting another one because by the time I do go through this, it's gonna be gone because it's limited edition. So there's that. So the main accords are sweet, warm, spicy, patchouli, vanilla, woody, rum, oud, leather, balsamic, earthy. The top notes are rum, vanilla, orchid, jasmine. The middle notes are vanilla, spicy notes, leather, creme brulee, tonka bean, and rose. The base notes are patchouli, brown sugar, agarwood, sugar, amber, and musk. Now, to me, this is not a vanilla 28 flanker. This is its own standalone fragrance. Um, so that's my first kind of thought. Secondly, this is very unisex. This is not it says it's unisex, but it's really feminine leaning. No. This is men can wear this, women can wear this. Non-binary, like anybody who just likes this scent can wear it, which is all fragrance in my opinion. I think all fragrance is gender neutral because it depends. You wear what you want to wear. That's my little soapbox on that. But I love this. I love everything about it. I love when you first spray it out how it smells. I love as it's drying down. I feel like all the notes, that top notes that come out, that rum, I smell it immediately, but it doesn't stay like super heavy in the nose. And then you come in, and then that creme brulee and vanilla, and you can smell it as the rum is kind of getting softer. And then that patchouli and agarwood, and it's a sweet patchouli. And I love patchouli. I love patchouli. So that's the other thing. If you don't love patchouli, I don't think you're gonna like this. If you kind of like patchouli, but you're not sure, I don't think you're gonna like this. Because to me, I think it's the patchouli that's really throwing people off more than it is like the oud. Um, because that patchouli is there. Now, as a patchouli lover, completely happy about that. But if you're a person who doesn't like patchouli, I don't know that you would like this. And then, even if you are a person that likes patchouli, when you mix in all those other things, the spicy notes, the leather, the tonka bean, all of that, this is definitely, in my opinion, not a safe blind buy scent. If you're not near a Sephora and they don't have this, get the travel size. Don't just get a big one. But I just knew from the notes that I would like this, and I was right. So it was worth it to me to take the chance because I knew, and I knew I would enjoy this. Um, So that is Kayali's Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli 64. Okay, guys, so that completes this video. I hope that this has been helpful. I have every intention on expanding my Oud fragrance collection. I have a list of items that I already know that I want to get. So for me, this is kind of a lifelong journey because this is definitely kind of my scent happy place. Patchoulis, ouds, very woody scents, and they smell really good on me. So that's the thing, like sandalwood, cedarwood, oud, they just really work well with my skin. And so, and I like how they smell, but probably I like how they smell because of how well they smell on me. But even smelling these on other people, I like oud. So, you know, um, it's a nice mix, and hopefully, you guys, if you're starting to get into oud, you found something that you're willing to try. If you're a person who's already into oud, maybe I have something on here that you hadn't thought about. Um, if you have an oud scent that I don't have on here that you really love, I mean, now after this video, you have a good sense of kind of what I like. Please drop it in the comments below because if I don't have it on my list, I will add it to my list. So that's it. Check out some of my other fragrance reviews, videos. I did a top 10, and I'll link that below. If I have a video, an individual video for any of these, I'll also link that below. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.